13 years in real estate. So you started with door knocking, and that's basically how you build your database, following up. And one listing, one referral, follow to the next one.
Yeah.
From the beginning, you focus on high end.
No, at the beginning I hit 500 to like $1 million, 2 million. So it took a lot of transactions to do that, but it's really good bread and butter to do that. You gotta, you can even the top agents like Sally Foster Jones, Aaron Kerman, me, we make it. We all make a ton of money by selling volume, right? And as long as, like I said, you're leveraging other people in your office to do open houses for you, or if you have showing assistants where you can give them a bonus, when you go in for that listing appointment, what I suggest is going in with someone who's going to show the house a lot for you, so they see them up front, so you don't have to make it. Oh, by the way, this is the person that's going to be showing the house. You say we're both going to be showing the property, but really it's probably more him or her than you, right? Because you got to be out there prospecting. If you're showing the property to agents and their clients, and that's not your best use of time. Your best use of time is cold calling, prospecting, and
getting more deals,
fielding more leads. People, yeah.
Creating leverage,
exactly. Yeah.
From 500 to, let's say, 2 million.
Yeah, so I didn't answer your question, right?
That transition to get one of the most expensive listings in the nation.
Sold for 70 million, yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
How that happened? What was the transition to get to that dollar amount?
So what I did is I held an open house in the Burr Streets. I hit that.
The Truesdale.
Yeah.
The Truesdale. That's that made an impact on the whole, changed the whole fate of.
Yeah, it was
Per
terrific.
square foot.
Per square foot. Yeah, I sold the house for, my first sale was for 20 million in Truesdale at the time when, like, in Truesdale you could, people were giving away houses in 2008. Like, it popped right after that sale, and I was door knocking in the hall. Oh, it's actually a cool story, and I talk about it in my webinar. By the way, I'm coming out in February with 8 lessons and 8 courses and 33 lessons. It's 3.5 hours of me like this talking about what I do. So you guys can check them out. If you give Tori or me your email, I'll send you the link and you guys can check out those courses. So I talk about the story of my course, but I was door knocking in the Burr Streets. It was kind of dead at that time, and I got a listing. And I said, I had a buyer for this listing. It was like $3 million, and I sat a couple open houses, and Leonardo DiCaprio walked into the property, and he's like, "Oh, this is great. This is a great listing." And I'm like, "Thank you." I'm like, "Actually, I have these 3 pockets right around your property. Would you like to see them?" He's like, "Oh, I've never been into those properties before." And this is because I was door knocking every day, right? Just asking people. So he called me the next day, and I got him into that property and 2 other properties, and he was so impressed with me that that I was door knocking and getting him access to properties that we couldn't get into. He referred me to a billionaire, and then that billionaire was like, I want this crazy view property. So I went out there door knocking again, and I found this crazy property, big view property. That's why it's crazy. It was an insane view. And the seller goes, it was right when the shit was hitting the fan in 2008 and everything was bailing, and he's like, I don't let anyone in. I get people knock on my door once every month. He's like, but you come in, you seem like a nice guy. He's like, the bell was ringing, the Dow hit 3,000, and he's like, all right, I think I'll sell the house. It's a good time.
At the right time, at the right place.
Right? Yeah, it's all about timing and just hitting it all the time. It's going to hit at one point, right? And then he goes, I'll take $16 million for it. So I called my guy. He was on his jet, and he's like, I'm like, you got it. I did a better sales pitch than I'm doing right now, but I just basically said, this is the most insane view downtown to the ocean, unobstructed. It's on 2 acres. I feel like this is, you're not going to find this anywhere. And it's true, to this day, it is the best view property. And the guy's like, I'll take $16 million for it. So he was like, okay, fine, $16 million, I'll do it. So he actually wrote an offer. This never happened to me ever again, by the way. he wrote an offer, sight unseen, for $16 million.
Without looking at the property.
And then I for some reason I knew the guy would change his mind. So I'd never done this before too. So I did a 20-day expiration on our offer, and and the seller calls me I didn't hear from him. He went totally ghosted me for like 3 days, and I was like, this is my biggest sale, like 16 million. And he called me 3 days later, and he's like, I want $20 million for the property.
Oh,
Yeah. So I called my buyer. I was representing both of them, and I said, look, they just went up to $20 million for this property. And he's like, this is leaving a very bad taste in my mouth. And then he ghosted me for like 6-7 days. So then I had to like create comps that didn't exist. So I used like the Greystone Mansion as a comp. I used like a comp from like 10 years before that sold for $9 million. That I used an appreciation schedule to say, look, it's probably worth today $20 million, and why this is going to be trophy property. I wrote like essays and was, you know, I literally wrote like very convincing emails, and I just tried to keep him in the loop. And then finally he stepped up. He closed it for $20 million as a record. It was a record sale for that property. And I remember when we closed, and him and all his like lawyers and business managers, they all came back with, like, guys, this is going to be $50 million one day. Like probably in about 5 years, $50 million. They all like laughed at me. And now the property next door, I offered $64 million on, and the property to the right of it, just Bernard Arnault, he's worth, I think he's like the 8th richest person in the world. He bought one for 36 and the one for 40 next to it. So I was actually under by 20 million.